Everyone's ex is a liar, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is something that comes up over and over and over. It's funny, I was sitting with a client last night that handed me some documents that her ex had just filed in court, and she's like, it's just full of lies. And I'm like, that's the first thing everybody says as soon as they get the documents.
That's true. Like every consult I do.
Yeah, it's the first thing they say. Oh, everything they're saying is a lie.
Right.
You have to understand that your ex is filtering this stuff through their perspective, which isn't your perspective. So it's different, and everybody's going to remember things differently.
A lot of winning at trial depends on the court's view of that person's believability and whether they believe their story. That's particularly true in domestic violence cases.
Yeah.
A lot of times you get he said versus she said, and you can say, well, they're lying, but that's just your opinion. And what you really need is something hard. Like, I had that case years ago. I always tell this story about the guy that
I know what you're getting ready to say now.
that swore that he didn't drink.
Right.
And
your client.
Yeah, it was my client, and he swore up and down that he didn't drink, except that the person who was filing against him had pictures of him with one arm around a woman and the other holding a bottle of vodka. So, needless to say, that affected his credibility.
Right.
But in most cases, the court is trying to find an arrangement that works for the parties.
Right.
They're not trying to declare a winner, declare a loser. They really do want to make the right call.
Yeah, but our concept of the judicial system, at least I say our because I'm the, non-legal person sort of in this, I guess I'm becoming more and more. We've been doing this together for, 11 or 12 years now, but I came into this as a non-legal person. And so as a lay person,
You're an illegal person?
You expect to be able to, get some sort of fairness or some sort of
vindication.
Yeah, or some kind of judgment from the court of how horrible your ex is, or I don't know, something, The
more they lie, the more I can trap them.
Right. So if the opposing part, you don't want to be lying, but you want the opposing party to be lying so that you can catch them in their lie.
Right. So if you're tweaked about them lying and you've got some really clear, I have a picture of myself with a black eye and he's saying that I fell down the stairs. That kind of lie is something I can use against a person in court.
Right.
So, if this person is telling blatant lies, then it's going to be useful for me.
Right.
But if it's just kind of a matter of opinion, which is what people usually mean,
right?
It's kind of like, he says I'm a bad mother. He says that I neglect the children, and that's not true. I don't neglect them.
Right.
And the word neglect is subjective,
right?
It's in the eye of the beholder. So it's not really a lie. Like I don't drink. Here's a picture of you with a
right. It's harder to disprove.
Yeah, it's not,
and harder to prove.
Well, it's an opinion, really.
Right.
At the end of the day, it's an opinion.
Right.
In my opinion, she's neglectful. She takes her medicine and then she falls asleep on the couch. Now, what's factual is she fell asleep on the couch and the children went out the front door and they were playing in the street when I came over.
Right.
That's a fact.
Right.
And the conclusion she's guilty of neglect is an opinion that's based on the fact. But you don't say, oh, she neglects. You point out facts that are established and lead the court down that road.
Yeah, so you want to essentially show patterns of behavior and not throw out, oh, they're a liar or oh, they're borderline or narcissistic, or they're crazy, or they're neglectful, or all these kinds of labels that we tend to put on other people is not helpful when you're in court. Like you said, you want to stick to the facts and show the pattern of the behavior, and this is what happened, A, B, C, and D. So the best way to deal with your lying ex is to not be a liar.
There you go.
And remember
not to
do it.
Yes. Don't lie.
Don't lie. And remember that it's a marathon, not a sprint. Okay, so sometimes the lies work in the beginning or might get you a little advantage in court occasionally, but over the long haul, I find that our judicial officers do a pretty darn good job of figuring out what's going on.
And the truth tends to emerge.
Yes.
If somebody is a jerk during the marriage, they're not going to suddenly become an angel after the divorce. Right. So if you are patient and allow them to do their thing,
dig their hole,
so to speak, or what's the other analogy we often say is give them enough rope to hang them.
Yeah, give them enough rope to hang themselves.
We'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the